Longboarding is kind of therapeutic. It's a chance to, I suppose, just be with myself and think things over.
Young men particularly are prone to accidents because they take more risks.
It's not something I would ever wish to live through again.
The sequence of being on the skateboard kind of seemed like a dream that I was waking up from.
The phone rang at about 9:30 in the morning. This was on the 30th of November, I think, 2004. And I answered it, and the person said, "Can I speak to Mr. Anthony Blunt?" And I said, "Well, who's asking?" And he said, "Aberystwyth Hospital." So I knew it from that moment that it was serious. And I said, "My goodness, what's happened to my grandson?" So I rang Tony. And of course, Tony was devastated.
Well, when I got there, of course, you know, he's out cold, tubes coming out of everywhere. Yeah, horrendous.
For some days, he was. It was all touch and go, as it always is with these things, I suppose, because you never know what you're going to get back after a serious head injury like that.
No parent ever wants to hear that, you know, your child is very likely brain damaged.
His condition had been quite good, but it was getting worse.
You know, the shock of seeing him in that condition and all the rest of it reduced me to a wreck.
I got to the hill, Penglaze Hill. This is the hill that the university is situated on. And I looked at it and I said to myself, "Tim, before you leave this university, you've got to skate down that hill."
When he went to university, I honestly thought that he would probably thrive there.
6 weeks later, and I'm not enjoying myself very much. Aberystwyth is a million miles away from anywhere.
And I think he found himself somewhat isolated with few friends, which I have to say I was pretty surprised at.
So I went down to the dean of my school, and he said, Tim, come in. What can I do for you?" So I had a seat, and I said, "Yeah, I'm really just not enjoying this. The course doesn't seem to be right for me. Aberystwyth doesn't seem to be right for me. I think I want to leave."
It seemed to me as though he wanted to bail out of uni, but he didn't have if you like, an exit strategy.
But at the time, I was just thinking, I don't want to be a history teacher. That's not what I want to do, and I don't want to be a politician. That sounds like a terrible thing.
I would have probably said, "Okay, this is not the best for me personally, but as a tool for the future, a means to an end, if you like, I will see it through to the end."
I remember I phoned up my dad and said to him, "Yeah, I've spoken to the dean of the school about leaving," and he said, "Give it a week, but I'm still feeling like I'm gonna be leaving." And my dad was really disappointed. The night it happened, we come back to my friend Adam's flat, and we were carrying on the drinking. It was getting quite late, so I bid them a very drunken farewell and went back to my room. So I decided that this was the perfect moment to go and enact this promise to myself and possibly kill myself. The board was drifting around underneath my feet, and I was going very fast. The feeling of the speed that I was going was incredible. And I quite calmly think to myself, "You know what, Tim? I think you're about to fall off." I don't remember a great deal after that. And I wake up about 150 miles south of there in Morriston's Hospital in Swansea. As I say, 5 days later, having had brain surgery to remove the blood clot that started forming on my brain when I hit the floor.
I remember going there to see him and thinking I'd see some pallid person lying on a bed, because when he'd spoken to me on the phone, his voice was very weak and feeble.
I was talking to him, and they said that he's coming out of the coma, and I don't, the first, as I recall, the first words he actually spoke were, "Dad, is that you?"
I was just walking down the corridor, and suddenly there was Tim, good as new.
I can't understand anyone wanting to fall off a skateboard deliberately. Whether that happened or not, I don't know. But do I feel guilty about haranguing him, shall we say, about staying on at uni? Yeah, of course. It obviously wasn't right for him, but I hadn't realised that.
Some time ago, he rang me up, and he was very, very depressed. And I'm worried. When he's depressed, I'm worried. And I said, whenever you, because very often it's not your parents you go to, it's somebody else, isn't it? And so I said, if you feel really badly, or anything at all, ring me. And I'm hoping that will, because I can't do more, be enough to sort of save him from himself.
And in retrospect, of course, then I understand that I can realise now that, he probably was desperately unhappy at the time. We have this thing now where both my kids are pretty crap at it, actually. You can only talk to their answer phones. And so I leave this message on Tim's phone, which, it kind of, if you like, I'm sure there's a subliminal message in there somewhere, because quite frequently I'm forced to leave the message that, well, I haven't been notified of your death, so I presume you're still alive. Which, in other words, a hint that about bloody well time that you got in contact, because I do miss that.
Yeah, I mean, I was in quite a low ebb emotionally. I would say it was a level of depression. I mean, it's an interesting one that I've thought about a lot, because it wasn't that I was feeling suicidal, but there was an awareness that, by skating down the hill, I might die, and I was comfortable with that.
In some ways, I suppose I probably felt as though I'd failed him. And the thing of well, I can only call it protection. It was probably too late, you know, he'd fallen off the skateboard. It was too late to be protective, but nonetheless, the instinct, the wish, however you want to entitle it, was still there.
I mean, certainly I'm a lot more able to talk about things with people as opposed to just keeping them bottled up, as I did then, I think, a lot more.
He didn't become less of a fun person or anything like that, but it's just a degree maybe of more maturity. But at the same time then also, I think that his proneness to depression probably came out more. Or it was more noticeable, or he talked about it more maybe.
I don't think he's changed, really. I think he's matured, as he should do.
I feel pretty good now. I mean, like, obviously I wouldn't wish the trauma and the upset on my family from doing it, because, you know, that was really quite scary and upsetting for them. So I regret that side of it, but at the same time, I don't regret the events because of where it has led me to now. It gave me the chance to actually get to know what I wanted to do and get to know myself a bit better.
Whatever other ambitions he's got in life, well, hopefully they're, you know, within his grasp. You know, if he's doing something that he loves for a living, if he's then happy and fulfilled in his personal life as well, it doesn't get any better than that.